All right. Zoom this out a little bit so we can see everything. All right. So today we are going to be working on finishing a build that someone started. I have zero information on it other than that they started building it and then started struggling. And now here we are. So first thing we're going to do is remove everything. All right. Yeah, because I already see things that are incorrect here. Oh, man. Let's get this out of here. These fans, man. Best of intentions. So he had these fans hooked up to the system fan slot. Like both of them. See what we got here. Those out of there. I gotta see if he's got this screwdriver, otherwise I'm gonna be... Nope. My screwdriver fit down in there. Barely. Alright. Get this out of here. Woo. Well, at least he made sure to pull the remove before installing sticker. Get this out of here. We have a 4070. Not super bad, not super bad. All right, so first things first, this, where he had this cable, is a cute idea. Not gonna lie. But in actuality, it's a terrible idea. The last thing you want to do is run power like through your RAM slots and have some sort of magnetic like field coming off of this that messes with them. Extremely unlikely, but possible. And also, this case has some of the best cable management in the business. And yeah, let's get that out of here. Get this out of here. So those are out of there. One of the other things is this. Like, I know it's kind of hard to tell from there. Let me go all the way in so you can see. No, I need to get a better camera for up here. As you can see, this was just screwed into the slot with the screw. The standoff is missing, as is the actual cover. So now I need to call this guy and say, hey, where's the cover for this? Oh, man. But then again, this one might not have a cover. I'm looking at it. I see a... No, it has to have a cover of some sort. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through... I'm going to get everything... I'm going to take the back off. Get everything... The back is already off. I'm going to get everything wired up. And then I'm going to call the guy and say, hey, I need the SSD covers that you removed. And then kind of go from there. I also need to verify that this guy is... Everything is seated in there correctly. So, like this, what I just illustrated is more of a problem with first-time builders than, like, it's surprising. Like, that, like, it looks like this would just work. Just don't want to do that. So we got to put a standoff in there. Find a little standoff bag. All right, we got it on there. Let's see if we got the right height in there. We do not. We need to go with the taller of them. spun out of there. We go with the middle boy. You know, I'm looking at this again. This might actually just not come with a SSD cover here, which would be surprising. But, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Could just be a design choice by the manufacturer. And there we go. We're nice and level now. At least he used the right screws for everything from what I can see. Yeah, everything else looks like it's nice and solid. So other than that, I would say we're looking good. All right, so let's get this reinstalled. Because this is that... the Pure Dark or whatever this is. Not Pure Dark. What's the name of this? Cybercool or something? If Tech was here, he'd be able to immediately tell me. That's attached. So everything with this was done correctly. Like, I'm looking at this, and now I understand why he had to do this. Because of this memory. But we still have the problem that we want the air moving this way. And the way he had these set up, it was moving back to front. So, we are going to do a little flippage here. And we are going to make it so that these cables going towards the top where we need to hook them up. And I'm going to need to charge him for a standoff screw and for a fan splitter cable. Alright, so now this is set up in the correct configuration. So now we're pulling air this way across this radiator. It's going to bother me. Deep cool! I was close. Did I say deep cool? I don't think I did. All right. So, same deal. This guy is going to be configured like so. So we want this wires going this way. I can get my hands working today. They apparently are not. Verify. We need to have the wire like that so that it is not getting pinched underneath this metal bracket. That'd be very bad. It's not very bad, it's just aggravating. And honestly, this is fine because we've gone from a blow across going this way, working against the front fans because the front fans are coming in this way and these were blowing this way, so we're creating this pocket here where this really isn't getting any hot air or any cool air because as the video card heat goes up, you'd have the heat on both sides of this thing. This would be pushing this way, so you'd end up with hot air here and hot air here, and then nothing. There's no fan back here, so there'd be nothing pulling in this way. Now, all of this cool air from up front is going to come across here. This is going to these are going to accelerate it and out the back. All right, both of our fans are good there. Let's see if I have... Can you stop that, please? And I do have a splitter, so we're going to go ahead and plug this in, CPU fan. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to come out the top here. You can kind of see what I'm doing. So those are going to come out the top. And then let me cut free. Be free. And then we're going to plug these in. I know this seems like a weird thing to do when all the cables can stay on the front, but for cable management purposes, we're actually going to manage these to right here. So now, when you're looking at this from the front, these cables are going to be coming right along there. I'm actually going to put a zip tie. I'll put a zip tie on these to keep them looking like hidden together, so that they're just not all over the place, willy-nilly. Alright, there we go. We got that in there. And we're going to go ahead and run, this is the alright, and this is the CPU power cable. We're just going to go ahead and slot it into this slot now. This cable is going to run down this way to the power supply. So we're just going to take the time now and get it plugged in so we don't have to deal with this with anything else in here in the meantime. And then if you happen to bump your fan, make sure you reattach your fan. There we go. And now that's cable managed. So let's look at the rest of these cables that come on this case. So we have our power switches, which are going to come up here. We cable manage that here. My problem is I got to see if that's going to be enough cable on the front to reach. Yes, it will. So yeah, we'll cable manage that. Here, and then we'll take a look at getting those plugged in. This is a fan controller. Actually, it's not a fan controller, they're just the fans. And we're actually gonna daisy chain these together. So on the fans themselves, these are some of the nicer ones that come with your actual fan plug and then a daisy chain. So that instead of occupying two separate headers on the motherboard, you can just occupy one. And we're going to go ahead and put this in chassis fan 2 at the bottom of the motherboard. I will show you that when we flip this over. But the other side of that, I should have waited to zip tie this in here because these guys are going to cable managed here as well. So that's going to go there. All right, next, what do we have? HD audio. Again, another cable. But this one's going to go over here. This guy's going to go here, and the only thing that this is going to interfere with over here is going to be the power supply. Yes, I didn't like Arctic fans, not because of the cabling, but because the fans are cheap. There's a difference. All right, and this goes over here, and then this should go up there with it. And if that is actually where they go, which we'll find out right now, which it is. So this motherboard does not have USB-C connectivity. So this guy, so we'll get the USB 3 plugged in. There is an adapter that you can buy that'll give you one of these connectors. But if you don't, just cable manage it in the back, and then just remember that it doesn't actually go anywhere. So, coming back around, we will let him know, hey, this isn't a thing that your motherboard actually has. So we're just going to gently just put that back up there. Yeah, they don't use cheap fans. We're gonna undo the nice fractal. Oh yeah, you're gonna like this. Look at this. Ooh. And then we're going to put this cable, these two cables in here. That. And there's all our basic factory cabling mounted up. So you can see, nice and neat and organized. Flip this back over. Let's get these cables plugged in. This is just going to go to start with our header fans. Of course, as always, let me try and get in here so you guys can see. Did this light do anything? Hey, look at this light actually does something. So we got these. I need to go right here. Here's our connectors. So we're gonna go. Your power is 99.9% of the time gonna be these two. If this is the bottom of the motherboard and this connector's down here, and then we have, actually we'll unplug this. We have power LED positive and negative right next to it on the top row. This case has no reset switch, so that goes in there, that goes in there, that goes in there. And that's it. That's where those connectors go. Down here at the bottom. Then we're going to hook up our chassis fans. We're going to slide these cables back through. There we go. It goes like that. Your audio goes all the way over here on the left. And that's all of our factory connectors hooked up, so they're nice and neat and everything. Flip this back over. This cable, we are actually going to, third time's a charm with this zip tie, I promise. I'm gonna pull this back here like this. And just like that. Everything's still plugged in, everything's nice and cable managed. And there we go. This is gonna be over here. And we're gonna try and do the tuck method. Like that. Coming down to the power supply, because this is gonna rotate around to the bottom. But we'll see, because more than likely we're gonna need to do that number. All right, motherboard power. We're gonna do that one next. That's gonna go like so. Flip this over here, 24 pin. Plugged in. And I'm looking, and I need to unseat this RAM. I should have checked this before. I did not. The memory was populated in the incorrect slots on this. You need to read your motherboard manual before you slot your memory in, because your memory is supposed to populate certain slots first. In this case, in this motherboard, it's supposed to populate slots 2 and 4, not slots 1 and 3. But now we are populated correctly. Pull that out. Alright, we got that, we got that. The only other cable that we're going to need for this is going to be the 4070's PCI, it should be this one. It says CPU. We got a PCI power cable. This one, CPU. Damn, this one's got a lot of CPU power connectors. Here we go. Set that off to the side. Figure out, actually, let's go ahead and get this installed now. Now that we got everything else configured correctly. Get that lined up. In and down. I need to fix that little snafu that happened there that you can see happening. There. And I just verified the front 2 fans are pulling across, so they are hooked up correctly. And then as far as this is concerned, GPU installed. We're only going to need one of these for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-zip tie this. Yes, 2 and 4 is like 99% of the time. Slots 2 and 4 are what the motherboard is going to have you populate. So I'm going to pre-zip tie this because I'm going to use this first one on the cable. This is just a personal preference. Get that in there. And tie this down just to keep this cable from flopping all over the place. And as far as cable management slot, I'm going to use the same slot that these went into so that all of our cables are going through the same place and making it look a little better. But we could go underneath to show off the card a little more. Let me see what that looks like. This comes down to like a personal preference because this, yeah, we're going underneath. It looks much better. Yeah, that actually does look a little better. I want to see if there's a way that I can basically keep this cable like this. So as you can see, the way I have the cable running now is actually right along the side here. And I'm curious to see if I can actually have this come out in such a way. There's nothing for me to mount this here to. So it's going to want to go down. Well, actually, let me see what happens if I zip tie this here. If this will do what I want it to do. As far as like holding it in place. I don't think it's going to, especially with it getting moved around. And there's nothing on the card for me to actually secure it to as far as like management locations. That's gonna go like that. Ooh, actually, here we go. I got it. I think I got it. So make sure that's pulled back. that. We're going to do this. All right, what's that looking like? All right, it's still kind of going the way I want it to. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this cable as a way to accomplish the look that I'm wanting. Which we're gonna pull this back a little bit. And up. So now, all right, so now we have this cable. Instead of just going top or bottom, you can now, we have clean airflow on the top, clean airflow on the bottom, and this cable can still sag down here or come up here if it wants to, but it naturally now wants to go around the edge of the card where there's literally a plate where it's not going to interfere with everything, or anything, excuse me. All right, let's flip this over. Now, I talked about hiding this cable. Not really anything. Ooh. This might be a great idea, might be a terrible idea. We're gonna find out. So the end of these PCI, like this case, you can actually see the actual PCI covers that are like the placeholders, and they have a little hole in the bottom of them. And that hole just happens to be just the right size for one of my zip ties. So, I think what I can do is I can use this to do my hidden cable thing that I want to do here. Find out. Push this back in there. Have to make sure what I'm doing is to hold on to this. So that's all the way back in there. We're going to hold this like this. In the worst case scenario, I cut this, but I think I'm going to be shocked, but I think that's enough to keep that in place. So you'll never see this cable coming out, and there should still be enough. We're gonna find out right now as I go to slide this in here. He's missing the plate. So that's gonna be awkward. So there's a plate that's supposed to go onto this. I was like, hey, did you make sure you gave me everything for the case? Yes. And of course, this cable is mounted backwards. But for a proof of concept, that will be interesting. Let me unplug this. Worrisome, the fact that this cable lets you mount it either way. All right. Plugged in. All right, same deal. We are going to, before I zip tie it this time, Am I going to have enough to go from here? I don't think that I am. So this cable would not be long enough. So we're not going to be able to do the full hidden, but we can at least go like that. For now, that in there. This, missing that back plate, makes this incredibly difficult. Because this power supply doesn't fit here otherwise. I need to take my watch off. Hey look, I suddenly have more freedom. Stand this up to do this. There we go. Why am I struggling with this? Like, I dislike this. This is one part of this case that I dislike, is this rear lip that's on here that makes it so I can't actually like get in here and actually manage these cables that are down here. Like this lip not moving, quite aggravating. Like I can barely get my hand in there. Three, 4. Did I really do that backwards? I did do that backwards. But that shouldn't matter. This can now line up here fine. I'm going to put another zip tie back onto here. Through this management hole where I had it originally. Go like that. We're going to use all of these management slots over on this side, the grommets, the eyes, whatever you want to call them. So, funny. I never thought about like actually moving like the camera like over here when I'm doing this. Forgot how much freedom I actually have with this arm. We're gonna go like that. Look at that. And that's, without cracking your smartwatch, that's how you cable manage this. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.